What's up, guys, and welcome back to Skins in the Game. J-Dubs is back. What's up, J-Dub? Can you hear me?
Yeah, why? Oh, wait. Hold on. My bad. Hold on.
You didn't mute the thing.
Yeah, all right. I'm caught up now.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, why is he... Okay, it's muted now. I'm caught up. No, everything's good.
Good.
Living large. But I was like, wait, I just heard an echo. And I'm like, okay. For me to get in the chat, I muted it. We're all good now.
We're all good.
I'm technically challenged, but I've caught up. So
that is hilarious. I was like, did I mute myself? Like, it sounded like you were with me, and then you were gone. But, oh my gosh, the technical difficulties going into this show was...
So how's everything up in Maryland?
That's just a pinnacle of what I've been dealing with for the last 2 hours. But anyway... everything's going good. Except we'll talk about it later. But anyway, it's good. Things are okay right now.
We have so much to talk about later.
It's crazy. I'm in shambles. Okay, it's crazy. Anyway, okay, let's just. Of course, we're going to be talking about the preseason game one. I went through and watched the first 3 drives a little bit more in depth. Next week, I'll actually watch the All-22. I was planning on sitting down today and watching the All-22, but NFL Game Pass apparently tells me I'm now an international, but now I'm not international, or I never paid for international. The subscription says I'm not international, so what's this, what's that? I'm trying to figure out how to get to the game All-22, and by the time I freaking finally figured it out, it's like, all right, I got to get prepped for the show, and then the website is the worst website of all time as far as, like, trying to get to the next play. It was taking forever, so I just watched the condensed game and got the broadcast view again. But I went through and looked at it at least in closer depth, and in the future I will have more of a actual, like, the All-22 where I can watch the end zone view, see everybody, all the routes and all that good stuff. But I will at least report what I saw after a second look. Okay, so we'll do that. We got a little bit of Washington news before that, and then we will kind of, what are we going to be looking for in preseason game 2? And of course, we'll end the show with Weddle. But as always, we're going to start the show with Dad Joke of the Week.
What is an astronaut's favorite part of the computer?
Space bar.
You nailed it.
Bang!
The space bar.
The space bar.
I think that's the first time you nailed it on the money, but anyway. Apparently I have to dig farther.
What's funny is I just said space thinking of, like, interwebs and whatnot, and, like, I'm just... And then afterwards, that's why I said bar so late. I was like, wait, I think it's the bar. But it's the... Actually, so you can go to the liquor and get some liquor. That's funny. Okay, I like it. Because I need a mixed drink right now, let me tell you. I wish I had the space bar right around here. But anyway. What up, Big Simple? Ref the District in the house. What's up, bro? You guys are doing some great things. Having some people on. Having some good times. And then, what's his name? Oh, my gosh. Trev went to training camp. I saw that. That was fun. Timothy Lawman's in the house. What's up? I'm drafting Brian Robinson late in all my fantasy drafts. I've highly considered it myself. I really have considered it myself. I've only done 1 draft so far, but my team's so freaking stacked because everybody else doesn't know how to freaking draft. So I'm like, I just don't have room for B-Rob right now because my running backs are so good.
Selena's still going to beat you just from the color of the uniforms.
Yeah, we haven't done that draft yet. That one comes later. Yeah, when I get bent over with, he's cute. Let's go with him. He hasn't started a game. Oh, wait. Let's lead the league in receiving yards or something. Yeah, well.
That's right.
Yeah, but it is what it is. All right. Well, what do you got?
Well, I got a combination. One, I want to give some useless fact, and then I want to trivia, and you know how I always pull it out. But
yep.
This is actually an NBA stat. John Stockton played all 82 games of a season 16 times. Michael Jordan did it 9, but John Stockton played in more total or all the games in a season more times than LeBron, Shaq, Magic, and Kobe combined. They had 14. Although, in all fairness, I think throwing Shaq in there is kind of cheating because he never had one. So, but
yeah, we can also throw me, then you. No,
but that was funny. The whole idea of this was 4 of the biggest stars for the Lakers. John Stockton played in more played all the games in more seasons than all of them combined. But here's
Fair
my
enough.
trivia.
All right, what do you got?
And I think this question is probably easy,
Okay.
but the second part of it might make you think of it. When is the last time the Redskins have had an MVP?
Oh, that would be Mark Mosley, the kicker.
No, that was actually the year before the last time.
Really? We had another MVP?
We did.
I don't know if I know the second MVP. I can't remember it. I didn't even realize we had a second. I remember Mark Mosley, for sure, the kicker. But now I'm drawing a blank on who the other one would even be.
He had an issue with his leg.
Joe Theismann won MVP?
He did.
Oh.
At least by the information that I have. But here's the trivia part of it, or the other trivia part of it. There are 6 teams in the National Football League that have never had an MVP. Would you care to guess, or should we move on? I don't know.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of like the young teams first. So like Jacksonville.
Yep, that's one.
I don't think Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson ever got one. So Detroit?
Nope. Detroit had one with Sanders. Barry Sanders.
Yeah, Barry did have one. Okay. Fair enough. Houston Texans.
Yep. That's number 2.
Have the Bengals ever had one?
Hold on, let me look. This is not yeah, Boomer.
Boomer Esiason got one?
Yep.
Fair enough. I don't know. Now I just feel like I would just be completely guessing.
Well, I can give you the other ones. You got a couple of them, but the Cardinals have never had one.
Okay.
The Saints have never had one. The
Drew
Jets
Brees never got one. That's crazy.
I know, and the Jets never had one, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers never had one. So that rounds it out. But that's the what do you got?
I think Tom Brady should have won it last year because he had the most yards, most touchdowns. They were a great team. Like
yeah, but they were so
balling.
Stacked. But
True.
I get it.
I guess it's hard to say that he's the most valuable player considering everything around him. That's fair. What up, Lee? What up, Redskins? How's it going? My what do you got is just I'm just having the weirdest thing with my ankle. Okay, I did this. This happened to me like what 6 months ago. I don't know if I remember. I called you about this. You remember when I said like it was like a slow pain, like to start, like a dull pain, and then it just built up, and then it hurt so bad to walk. And then the next morning, I woke up fine.
Right.
Could bounce on it, jump, go side to side. Zero problems with my ankle. Well, it's happening again. Like it started yesterday. And now today, like, it hurts so bad to move. And it's weird, too, because it's like, I'm not even, like, it's almost like if you keep moving, it keeps it away. But then, like, whenever I stop and then go to move again, it just gets stiff. I think it's arthritis. Yep. I don't know. It might be some bad arthritis in my ankle. But I maybe need to get that checked out. But if anybody else ever heard of something like this, because it was so weird the first time it happened. It just went away. I didn't take medicine. I just went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and I could 1 foot jump over the moon. Not literally, but you know.
So are you playing basketball or pickleball or anything? You're not doing any sports-related activities? Or
I mean, I do it every once in a while, but I didn't twist it. Like, I didn't do it. And it's, as I said, it started slow. Like, okay, it's kind of bothering me. All right, a little bit here, there, whatever. And then it just ramps up to now where it's like just lifting my leg hurts it. I may have to get it checked out, as I said, but I have no idea. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, I'm hoping tomorrow now, knock on wood, I just wake up and it's gone. Who knows? Who knows? My legs are sore, but that's expected without working out. And then leg day, ooh, yeah. 347 pounds 20 times? Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Your legs will be hurting then. I did not do such things. But, I mean, I've been doing physical activity, like, throughout the summer. Not, like, a bunch, but I work in construction, obviously. I have played pickleball a few times, basketball a couple of times, and no problems. And I played basketball last night, but it was already starting to flare up before that. And I didn't even play real basketball. We were just playing like horse and around the world and stuff because we only got a few guys to show up. So we didn't even like play a game. And then we played a couple of games of pickleball.
See, all I play is golf. Your Uncle Gary plays all kinds of stuff, and he's got issues. I got a friend of mine that played tennis and pickleball, and he's got a knee replaced. And I'm like, I thought about picking up pickleball, but I'm like, wait, I don't want my legs to give out. My legs are good.
It's fun.
So,
I highly recommend.
No, I
don't
know.
think this
I'm
is
thinking
pickleball
about it
related.
strongly.
I think it's probably more playing basketball my whole life, and you just twist your ankles up and just get them destroyed. That's what I think. It's more
Playing
likely
against
to be.
people that are bigger than you are.
And faster and can cross me up. I remember one time at basketball camp, I twisted both ankles, I feel like, in one play. Like the guy, but I stayed on him, but I was breaking all my ankles. With that one play. I had to get both ankles wrapped after that game. Like, I stayed in front of him somehow, but yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight.
Yeah, then,
like, my ankles were
then
all
you're walking off the
bent
field
up.
going, or walking off the court going, oh, okay, yeah, I got him.
yeah. Yep. He respects me now. Yeah, not.
Yeah,
no,
we'll
that's
go with
funny.
that.
But anyway, that's my what do you got? All right, let's go ahead and hop in to. We'll just talk about a little Washington news first, okay? So first, we had to cut down from 91 players to 86 players. The reason we have 91 instead of 90 is because we have the International Player Program, extra player with, I believe that's that F.A. Obata guy. So he basically doesn't count. So he's not going to get cut until we have to go down to the 53 because we're allowed to keep an extra player. But we did make some cuts, and one elite player was on the list, and it's Troy Apke is finally gone off the roster. Trapke you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well,
you're out of
when
here.
Hold on. When you say elite, you have to do this because somebody thought he was elite. A lot of the fans didn't.
No, and it was a particular somebody. It was the head coach of the team that said he was an elite special teamer. Yeah, they cut the greatest special teamer of all time, Mr. Troy Apke, who I think had like 6 total tackles all last year. I don't know how many defensive snaps he played, probably like none, but it was
So here's a question.
very limited. I think he played 6 games and got 6 tackles.
Here's a question. Do you think he's done, or does somebody out there pick him up?
I think he may make a back end of a roster maybe, but I think he's
It'll be
not gonna
interesting.
ever play
It'll be
again.
interesting.
I think he's never going to play on the field again though.
Okay, because I think
would be
it's
my
going to
guess.
be
I think he
very
just makes-
interesting.
Yeah, I think he just like gets picked up by somebody and for like cuz maybe by the 49ers or something because like Kyle Shanahan was he wasn't a part of that. It was Jay Gruden's staff. Who was on that staff? Maybe a team
So
like
maybe he
Atlanta?
gets on the field. Maybe he gets on the field late in the season when another team is decimated by injuries and they're bringing cab drivers.
That's
what
hilarious.
I don't recall any game I've ever watched where it's like, oh my God, Troy, he makes a great play. But that's just me.
That's funny. There's some. Anyway, but actually, let's just report this, and then there's a couple of good questions out there in the chat that we'll answer. All right, the other cuts were Devontae Bowsby, who we signed like 2 weeks ago. He ends up getting cut. We cut a guard, Dion Calhoun. He is gone, and then we put 2 players on IR. So they are still, I guess, technically under contract in that way, but they have been eliminated from the roster by being put on IR, which is the fullback Alex Arma and the tight end Sammis Reyes. So Sammis Reyes is not gone because they could basically save him with the IR, right? They don't have to let him out into free agency because they just place him on IR. Now you don't take a roster spot, but you're also not a free agent. So I think they still want to help develop this guy as much as possible, continue to learn, but he is in a tough spot considering how competitive right now the tight end room is on this team. So, any surprise? Go ahead.
Here's a dumb question from a dumb fan. Does the IR protect the player in any way or only the team? If you understand my question.
Oh, you still get paid if you're on IR.
Yeah, but I mean,
believe.
but at any point, they can put you on IR and then they can release you. IR doesn't put you on any kind of protected status. It's just, I'm not going to take up a roster spot, but if the team decides to let me go, I could be gone tomorrow.
That's a good question. That's a great question. Let's see if I can. Yes, injured reserved or for football injuries, that status that allows the team to retain an injured player and free up a roster spot while he's out. I understand that.
Oh, Bodhisattva
Players
says
have
they
to
can
stay
cut you on
as long
IR.
as they need to heal. They have 4-week window to be promoted back to the active roster the week after they start practicing again. If that doesn't happen, the player suffers a setback, then he must be shut down for the remainder of the season.
Well, like I said, Bodhisattva seems to think, I mean, it's a night that you can't be cut if you're on the IR. I don't know if that's right. I mean, that's my question.
But also, like, why would you cut a player that's on IR? That doesn't, you know what I mean? But then again, like, if you're injured, I don't think you could get your full paycheck then. So I think you still get paid by the team, but I don't think it's the full, like, it's whatever your contract agreement is for your injured pay. Because they say, like, you get, you know, if you got an $80 million contract and $53 million guaranteed, that $53 million is guaranteed through injury, but the rest is not guaranteed through injury. So I guess it depends on how the contract is structured, and you basically continue to get the injured pay rather than.
Well, and I'm not about.
Yeah.
I've always felt like the IR is a few extra slots on the roster where you're restricted in how you can't move a guy on every other week. That's why, but you know that's why
they have to miss a minimum. And I think it's now with COVID and everything, with the COVID situation, I think they made it a minimum of 3 weeks. You have to go on IR. So if you go on IR, you cannot play for the next 3 weeks. Period.
Right. But so it protect. I think personally, I think it protect or it gives the team an option where I really like this guy, but I don't think he can play. Yeah. But the NFL prevents you from gaming the system of putting a guy on there and then taking him off. Like, if you put him on there, it's serious. You're going to lose him.
Oh, yeah. They're not allowed to practice or anything. Like, that's what they – yeah, if they start practicing, then they got to play. Or they got to be taken off the IR. So, yeah, it's not good. Now we got memberships. I see you, Tim. I've had memberships for a while now. I just haven't been pushing them, I guess. But, yeah, you can become a member of this channel for $1. It's literally, it's the name of the show. You can get your skin in the game for 99 cents. And, you know,
and that
helps support the channel.
And that in $1.50 will get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah. 99 cents a month is what it is. So you can become a member for 99 cents if you would like to support the channel that way. Be greatly appreciated. And there's a couple of emojis that you can get. You can get like a going deep, a statistically speaking emoji, we ain't dead yet emoji. And I think
we'll bring that out.
I have to look at it again.
We'll bring that out in mid-October.
Yeah. So there's a couple of cool emojis on there. All right. Anyway, so those are the cuts. And there's a couple of good questions, though. Let's answer some of these questions real quick because I saw them. Okay. Please. Did you watch the interview where a reporter just disrespected Wentz in his face? I did. Did you see this, Dad?
I didn't see this. I would like to hear about it.
Yeah, so basically he's like, the interviewer just asked him extremely blunt questions. And it was like 2 exact questions. He's basically like, Eagles didn't want you. Colts didn't want you. Do you feel as though this is your last chance in the NFL to prove that you're an NFL quarterback?
Wow.
That was one
question. And Wentz did not cold cock right there.
Yeah. No, Wentz handled both questions beautifully. He was like, I don't really care, but I'm just doing my thing. You know, I'm just trying to practice and whatnot. And then the second question was, so there's been a lot of talk of your inconsistency issues before and now during camp. Is that a concern or something along those lines? I mean, basically just trashing him on how inconsistent he has been throughout this camp. It was pretty funny. And again, Wentz handled both questions like absolutely beautifully.
Well, good for him. Good for him, because I'm not sure I could have done the same thing.
Yeah, like, what's your problem, dude? Like, okay, like, yeah, they had other directions, but yeah, no, he just kind of let it roll off the back, and it's no big deal. Frank Olag or Olagwe? Olag? I'm going to go with Olag. What's up, Frank? Says, what's up, Tim? I just wanted to ask, since we have so many injuries at tight end, do you think we should go and get us a veteran tight end? I would not get a veteran tight end until closer to the season, after preseason completely. Because a veteran tight end you do not need to see in preseason. They're going to be able to come in, be in shape, and be ready to play. And they're going to have some understanding already of NFL offenses. Maybe not this offense, but enough where they can step in if they have to. But also, we're really nursing some of these injuries. Like, I don't think necessarily Cole Turner's at threat of missing week 1, or John Bates is at threat of missing week 1. Now, Logan Thomas is, but we still have Armani Rogers. We still have Curtis Hodges, who both played reasonably, especially Armani Rogers played pretty well. Curtis Hodges played decent this past Saturday. So I don't think there's a desperate need to go after a veteran tight end at this moment. But we have a 2-week period, basically, after the last preseason game. There's no football the next week, and then after that, the regular season starts. In that 2-week period, if it comes down to it, at least a week before, I would sign a veteran tight end that could go ahead and plug and play at least on goal line situations or short yardage. That's how.
Yeah, I think this. You were just talking about how crowded the tight end room is, but maybe it's not that crowded. If everybody, I know we got
it's crowded with talent, and that's what I'm saying. Especially like deep in the roster, because we know Logan Thomas, John Bates, and Cole Turner are going to make this team. Now, Logan might start the year off on IR, which means we have to bring some extra tight ends. But those 3 are a guaranteed, assuming health, right? They're in. 2 of them were drafted. The other one got a big payday. Then it becomes who's going to be our 4th tight end, because really we only are going to keep 4. I doubt we keep 5. And we still have Armani Rogers and Curtis Hodges trying to fight for that spot. And if Logan doesn't play, maybe both of those guys make it. But my point is, it's a highly competitive. Yeah, there's some injuries, but all of them have the capabilities of making this team right now. And with Sammis Reyes on the IR, he can't continue to practice. It's tough for Mr. Sammis Reyes at this point, because
to make a name
Curtis
for himself
Hodges,
when he can't
Curtis Hodges, Cole Turner, John Bates, and Logan Thomas all have played tight end now at some point in their career. Armani Rogers is just still learning the position, but he's he's a great athlete, but he also knows way more about football. He played quarterback, so it's not a big deal. Since you're a Wizards fan, what are your thoughts on the Wizards' schedule? The Wizards are gonna stink, so it doesn't matter who they play. They'll win a couple of games they have no business to. Then they'll lose to a couple of teams they have no business to. They are not very good. It's just how the NBA works, man.
In the words of,
you don't want to come here, it's just not going to work. What's up?
In the words of Steve Spurrier, not too good.
5-11, not very good. Big Money Sonny, what's up, man? Mama Huevo, what's up, Tim? What's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Big thanks. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for the $1.99. Got to pay J-Dub somehow, so thank you so much.
You can't afford to pay me.
You can't afford to pay me. I got $1.99 after 33% taken from YouTube. What's up? As you said, hey, that's like a little over $1.50, right? No, it's not. It's under $1.50. Dang it, you can't even get your coffee. But thank you, Big Money Sonny, for getting us at least 90% of the way to the cup of coffee that J-Dubs was talking about. Have you not seen the Wizards' changes? Yeah, I mean, they have Kristaps Porzingis still. They have Bradley Beal, and they signed a couple of other guys. But they have an outside chance of making the playoffs. I was with the DMV Sports Zone guys last week, and they were telling me about it a little bit, but I don't know how good Johnny Davis is going to be, and I don't keep up with them that hard, to be honest with you, but I still just don't have a lot of confidence. I just don't like the NBA much anymore, because it's hard to be a team fan in the NBA. You kind of, if you're an NBA fan, you almost have to be more of a player fan than a team fan, because the players decide where they're going to play, and they just decide to go play with each other, and then they only sign a 2-year deal so they could be gone in 2 years. It's not a very team-friendly sport.
Bodhisattva the Wizards changed into a different bad team.
Yeah, they
I
just don't
love
have the
it.
star power to really compete, especially in this competitive Eastern Conference. I mean, the Bulls are going to be good again. There's so many good teams in the oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on all of them. The Celtics will be good. The Heat will be good. Like, there's some super dangerous. The Sixers are going to be good again. The only one that's kind of question mark that was good last year was the Nets. We'll see where they end up. But I don't know. Nati seemed to like the Cavaliers, and I think they were like on the edge of the playoffs last year, or maybe just the Knicks will still be a decent team. There's so many competitive teams in the East, so it's tough. Morris, Beal, Kuzma, Porzingis, Gafford, Barton the sixth man seems pretty good. It just doesn't.
We shall see.
Like, compare that to the Warriors lineup, and well, like, yeah, we'll see how good that is comparatively. But anyway, all right, we ready a little bit of talking some, or you know what? You tell me what you thought of the preseason game first, and what you thought, if you had any questions about the first three series with the starters in it, of what I went through, and what you thought of the game. And you could also go on, I know you have your
tirade I want to go on.
Yeah, exactly. Your problems with the NFL.
First of all, I could not watch the game. I went to my local pub that has the NFL ticket, that has every game under the sun, and got there, and they turned it to the channel that said Commanders, Panthers, not available in your area. And I'm not a Ravens fan, but they did the same thing. A friend of mine came down and visited that's a Ravens fan, and I was like, let's go to Hooligans. That's the place that's got all the games. And the manager came out and told me that the NFL and all their wisdom has now blacked out preseason games in certain areas. So the NFL ticket that these bars or pubs or whatever buy to get every game are no longer getting every game. And he was telling me, he was like, it's costing us a lot because people come in here to watch whatever team they want to watch. And that he goes, that's why I got it. So we could watch every game. So I'm guessing where in Florida, I'm not going to be able to watch one Commanders preseason game unless I go online at Prime or whatever. And I know we talked about that. That's fine. But
yeah,
so I'm going to have to
my
sit.
YouTube TV. You should be able to watch
Yeah,
it.
I know. We talked about that. But still, if you
You
buy
should
the
be able
NFL
to watch
ticket,
it at your local bar that pays for the ticket. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to say NFL ticket is
crazy.
NFL ticket or it's not. So anyway, that's my rant.
Fair enough. All right, before we get into this, is a good question too. Tim, do you think we should trade Gibby, and what do you think we could get for him? I just don't see a whole lot of trade value in a running back, and I don't want to trade him either. I want to keep him because if anything happened to Brian Robinson, God forbid, Gibby can step in and be a good running back. And yes, he fumbled too many times last year for our liking, and he fumbled on the second snap or second rush attempt this last week, which absolutely sucks, and it's clearly in his head, but he's still a super talented player, and we don't have a ton of running back depth. We just cut one, or no, somebody predicted that. That was something else, but no, we don't have a ton of running back depth. Jarrett Patterson's okay, but he's not Antonio Gibson as far as a talent, so I don't want to trade him. All right, let's hop into this.
By the way, Zach,
Yes.
you might be right because they're playing KC. I might be able to see them, but when they're playing the Panthers, nope.
Yeah, maybe they will get it because it is the 4:00 game. It's like the prime game. But
anyway,
yes,
move on. I didn't mean
all
to.
right, moving on.
Right.
Okay, so you couldn't watch the game. That's okay. But anyway, so I went through the first three drives just to see what I could see, and the first run by Antonio Gibson was like a no gainer, and he just didn't attack the hole at all. And there was a linebacker in the one hole that he did go into, but he just didn't do it with any power, and he couldn't really get any momentum, which is something completely different than what Brian Robinson will do when we get into that. But The one play to take away, because it was a 3-and-out on the first drive, was the deep throw to Armani Rogers. And I was listening to Louis T talk about that, and he basically blamed Armani Rogers on the play, saying that he should have stopped and jumped for it. I just completely disagree. Like, I don't know why he just felt the need to defend Carson Wentz on that play. The ball was just too far inside. It needed to be farther outside so that the defender could not get his hands on it. But with the momentum and how he had to contort his body to be able to stop on a dime when you're expecting the ball to be in one place and then jump, contort, and get over the dude, if he did that, God bless him. Great. But it needs to be farther outside on that deep throw for Carson Wentz. And he obviously did it later in the game as well. So that's my first takeaway, at least from the first drive. And also, I believe he should have really been looking for Curtis Samuel underneath, but I guess they wanted to take a shot. But it was 3rd and 4, and Curtis was on a linebacker running across the field right around the 4 yards. Float that one out there to him right in the flat and watch him take off. So that's the first drive, obviously, was not ideal. And I think there was also was it an incomplete pass? There was the screen pass. So there was like a play for no gain by Antonio Gibson. The screen pass to Curtis, which was nice. It was a 6-yard play. And then the incomplete pass. So 3-and-out. Then we go to the first defensive drive. Cole Holcomb and Derek Forrest on the second play where Baker ended up running for that 3 yards. Remember, if he scrambled around, got pressure from Montez Sweat, and then he ended up getting a 3-yard run, getting out of bounds. Cole Holcomb and Derek Forrest were in the same zone after the play. They were standing in the exact same spot. Why? Because that's what gave the running lane for Baker. Somebody should have been over to, they were basically literally standing right next to each other, almost stacked. If you were in your correct zones, separate from each other, Cole Holcomb could have been able to get there first and much faster, or if it was supposed to be Derek Forrest, I don't know whose zone. Obviously, I'm not privy to that information, but this goes to show the more problems we continue to have with zone defense on this team. That was a big problem last year with how terrible we were at zone, and immediately on the second play, we have 2 guys standing in the exact same spot. Can't happen. Gotta fix it. Then,
agreed.
Yeah, exactly. Then Cole Holcomb, he did not stay with his man. And Louis T said something about the Cam Curl did not have a good game. And at first glance, I wonder if he was talking about this play. And you know what? It could be completely different things that he was looking at. But at first glance, I thought, oh, this is zone. And Cam Curl just got bit on a mesh pattern and then just left his zone. And there goes Shi Smith for a 19-yard play on 3rd and 4. But no, everybody else was running man-to-man, so Cam Curl did his right thing, running with his man. Cole Holcomb just stopped. He thought he was going to get run into a player. No, you run into the player. That's a pick play, and if you guys run into each other and they get a big game, that's a penalty. Cole Holcomb, that's 2 bad plays in a row. You're in the same zone as Derek Forrest, and then Cole Holcomb, right. You're not sticking with your man underneath, and then it ends up being a huge 19-yard play on 3rd and 4. So linebackers, we have 0 depth at linebacker. Cole, you got to get better on at least from those 2 players.
I would even go one step further. I'm not sure depth is a problem. I don't even think the linebackers on the field are good.
Exactly. Well, it's I have way more faith, obviously, in Cole, but no, that's my point. It's if Cole's stinking it up, then we literally have no linebackers. But Jamin actually played much better. I thought Jamin, he had some man-to-man, and he stayed with his receiver. He's obviously a super athletic freak, and we'll talk a little bit more about him later. There was a nice play that he made. And then we have a safety blitz on 3rd and 4 that same drive, and Bobby McCain nearly got there. But guess who? Cole Holcomb dropping back in coverage and in zone way too far, just giving the first down up, or the quick 4 yards, 5 yards, where Bobby McCain was coming from. If Bobby McCain is going on a blitz, you have to fill where that zone is. Don't just continue to back up and just give them a quick, easy throw. You got to fill that, because that's exactly the hot read where Baker Mayfield's going to go every single time. You're taught as a quarterback in an offensive play or even as a tight end, if you see your guy blitz, you take 3-4 yards and turn around. And that's the hot read. Blitz, go there immediately. Cole Holcomb, you got to come up and you got to make that play. And you can either break it up or get a tackle much faster. Just 3 plays, or not, I don't know if they were all back-to-back, but 3 quick plays on the first drive. I just hated what I was seeing from Cole Holcomb.
Well,
and then the last play that drive. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to say, I think, too, when you're blitzing, everybody's dropping down. It's like you're trying – if they end up beating you over the top, okay, live with it. But you can't play soft. If somebody's blitzing, to your point, if somebody's blitzing and you're going to play soft, then they're going to take the guy. It's like, hey, where this guy just came from, we're going to throw it right there. It's not a press. And like I said, if you get beat deep, so be it.
Well, it shouldn't be a long play. Yeah, because the blitz is supposed to get there fast.
Right.
That's another thing. It's like, oh, wait, I don't want him to beat me deep. The ball's going to get out quick. Bobby McCain is coming free off the edge. Something's going to happen quick, or the quarterback's going to have to get out of there, and you're going to have time to recover. You're supposed to get it quick. The ball's supposed to be out of his hands.
That was kind of my point.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You have a blitz, crash the line, and if somehow he beats you deep, but
exactly.
Probably not enough time. But
yeah, the first drive they obviously drove a while. Then we ended up getting, I believe Cole did end up getting a nice tackle in the run game on the 1st and 10 play for a 1-yard gain. But then we got fortunate with Baker Mayfield fumbling on the snap on 2nd down, and then he completely off page with his receiver over to the left. Silstra, they didn't run the route they were supposed to, or it was also thrown way under the 1st down marker. There was another 1st down actually earlier. Danny Johnson just completely flipped his hips outside way too early. Immediately he's flipping to the outside, and Shai just does a great job, Shai Smith, their receiver, to stem him outside and then just cut in, and it ended up being another easy 1st down for 20 yards. So they get a field goal on the first drive. Not the start the defense wanted, and obviously I said one name way too many times because we were getting some pressure but just the coverage on the back end was not good at all to start. And luckily the fumble snapped, because who knows if they continued with how they were playing, that could have been easy 7 points for them. All right, we go to the second offensive drive, and there was a play where it was a 3rd down. We ended up throwing it to Armani Rogers and getting the 1st down, which great. Can't complain too much. We got the 1st down, what we looking for. But basically, Armani Rogers and Jahan Dotson both ran whip routes to the outside. Jahan destroyed his man. And I wish we went to Jahan, because he could have caught it and get upfield. I would like to see us try to go to the 1st round pick that's supposed to be a sure hand guy to get open, then the tight end who's probably not, or who may not even make this team. My eyes, I'm not an NFL quarterback, but my eyes probably would have went to my 1st round pick, but who am I guess. But anyway, as I said, we got the 1st down. I'm not going to hate on Carson Wentz. And overall on the day, Carson Wentz went 10 for 13. I thought he had a completely fine day. He was finding the open man, hitting the check down. So I'm not hating on Carson overall. It was a fine day. But that particular play, I'm like, dang it, that's an open Jahan Dotson. And Jahan Dotson didn't get a touch.
Post office. Drive is the wrong word. The second sputter.
The second sputter. That's funny. Oh, here we go. All the rumors on ESPN. I wanted to ask you, Tim, do you think Ron Rivera is in the hot seat? How long do you think he'll be with us until they fire him?
I don't think we're that far yet.
I don't think he's going to hot seat this year. Unless we completely throw a dud, I think he's going to stay at least one more year. I'd be surprised with everything going on right now. Dan Snyder making that move, with how good of a man and leader Ron Rivera has been to change this franchise. I think Ron Rivera has an extremely long leash. Granted, I do think it's a important year for him. I think he does need to win sooner rather than later. But I think
Yeah, I mean, if they go like
hard.
they go like 4-13 or 3-14 or something stupid like that, then yeah. But I don't think he's in that position yet.
They may have gone to the game to throw the tight ends 50 times. Yeah, don't go to the game planning to throw to your first round pick and get him started. No, that's silly. Let's just throw to the backup tight ends. But anyway, overall, I think Ron is going to have at least one more season, and if not two, he may fill out his contract, the 5 years. Honestly, even if we do stink it up this year, just because of how much in shambles this whole team is in, I find it tough. Especially, it's all in context too, because injuries and all that stuff. But anyway,
well, I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
I think more than Ron Rivera, I think the defensive side. I think Jack Del Rio is closer to a hot seat than Ron is.
100%. If the defense flops again with all the talent they have on there, yeah, he would be fired before Ron would. I agree.
Yep.
I agree. All right, and then of course the second drive ended with the second carry for Antonio Gibson with the fumble, and it's just such a bad fumble. Like, he didn't protect the football. He again stuck it out there and was reaching with this hand and had this hand, like, didn't keep it inside, nothing. He's in the mess of the entire line of scrimmage, and you're holding it like this. You're not reaching for the goal line. You're not reaching for anything. You're not even close to the first down. Protect the football. Put two hands on it and try to barrel through and get as much as you can. Don't hang it out there. And sure enough, somebody came up and punched it out. I mean, it's exactly what you did not want to see from Antonio Gibson. It's precisely what you didn't want to see.
I'm curious, what is this? What causes this? Is this something that can't be taught? Or is it what causes someone, and I mean, he's certainly not the only guy, but what causes you to be a fumbler? Why can't you just realize that whatever you do, you got to have 3 points on the football, or at least 2, covered against your body, usually 3. And what makes a guy a fumbler? I wonder this.
It's like, because they showed a graphic where Walter Payton had like something like 16 fumbles in his first 2 seasons. Emmitt Smith had like 14 fumbles in his first 2 seasons. Adrian Peterson had like 13 fumbles. And I think there was one other guy.
Zeke Elliott. Didn't Zeke Elliott have a lot of fumbles?
He didn't have that many, but he did have. No, wait. In the start of his career, no. It was like 2 seasons ago he had a bad season where he had quite a few fumbles. But to start his career, no, he was phenomenal. But what I see is guys that are super athletic and super talented that want to get too many yards, and like they end up, the whoop, like, they get a little bit too loosey-goosey with the ball. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, when you watch Jarrett Patterson run the football, it is always like this.
Yep.
No matter what. It is high and tight, and he's running down the field. It looks like a little mouse, right? But he is running down the field like this. It's not this down the field, or, like Randy Moss palming the ball out there, running around, or Lamar Jackson or Mike Vick. No, it's high and tight. This is what you have to do if you're Antonio Gibson. And I understand that it takes away a little bit from your athleticism because you don't run quite as fast when you do that. But I love that you want to get big plays. You can't get a big play if you put the fumble on the ball on the ground. And that's what
if you're not holding on to if you're not holding on to the football, there are no big plays.
Yeah, exactly. So, because that's exactly what happened. It's like, I think he had visions of grandeur to put a hand down in the middle of the whole scrimmage of this offensive line and get back up and continue to run. It's like, dude, this is a dive play. There's not much here. The blocking didn't pan out for you, really. Protect the football and just get what you can.
Yeah.
Try to do what you can. Not every play is a touchdown. Some plays, you're just trying to stay ahead of the chains. Like, if I get a 3-yard dive here, fine. I don't need a 70-yard touchdown every single time I hand you the football. And
well,
that's
I remember
what Ron
when I
was
played
talking about and everything.
When I played football, there was one of the guys' parents, Mr. Obar, that always said, "Don't carry the football like a loaf of bread." He goes,
Yeah.
you got to keep, and he would preach that and preach that and preach that. It's like, it's not a loaf of bread. It's something you're protecting with your life. And he would always say, to your point, keep it up here, point to point, and nobody's going to knock out. And apparently they need Mr. O on Gibson's team.
Frank's got some great questions. Tim, I know Sam Howell's a rookie, but how he played so good Saturday, how long do you think it'll take before he's a starter? And do you think he's our future QB? Right now, the reins are in Carson Wentz. Like, if Sam Howell becomes a starter, that's not a good sign for us. Either injuries or absolute stinker. And yes, Sam Howell looked great in his first start, but he is going against threes. We got to put it all in context, and I love what I saw from him, but we're a long way away from the Sam Howell train coming, right?
No, I agree. I think for us, our success, Carson Wentz has to be good over the next 2-3 seasons, and then Sam Howell develops and picks up the reins when Carson's done. But you're right. If he's in this year, it's because things are not going good.
Yeah, very, very tough. Very tough situation.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and go to the second defensive drive. There was, again, the Kendall Fuller and the corners were playing so far off. The Jack Del Rio special, and they get a nice chunk on a first down, like a 9-yard gain or an 8-yard gain. And you're just like, again? Like, stop playing so far off. But that's how Jack Del Rio teaches it. And if he continues to give up big plays, at least this time it was on first down and not 3rd and 2, and play 8 yards off. That's good. It's a good start. But it's just a bad taste in your mouth every time you see it. It's horrible. I didn't like it. Then a couple plays later, Kendall allows the touchdown, right? Montez should have had a sack, but unfortunately the ball sails over. It was a perfect throw under pressure by Sam Darnold over the top of Kendall Fuller. Now, there's two things in this play that of note. And if you watch Louis T, he said he actually made a tremendous point with, and I'll repeat it, and I saw it on film as well. I saw the same thing Louis did. Louis, I don't know, he was seeing things on the Amari Rodgers things, but this one is true. Jamin Davis was on the line of scrimmage with the receiver that ended up scoring the touchdown, and he did not put any hands on him whatsoever. No slowdown, no jam, nothing. And that allowed the receiver to get enough speed to get to that position in time. Because if you jam him even for a split second in there, the timing is going to be completely off on that play. And because Sam Darnold had to throw it at that exact second. If he waited one more iota of a second, that is a sack from Montez Sweat. Literally, Montez is like this, just jumping at him right now. He almost tipped the ball. Probably not really, because it was like a fadeaway throw. But anyway, he was that close to the situation. But Kendall, you got too far sucked in, okay? You saw the play action, and you're way too far in and underneath, too. Like, your job is to guard that part of the end zone, and you're basically almost to the line of scrimmage, and then you have to recover, and that's what gives the window to throw that pass. So it was a twofer. Jamin needs to get some hands on him, and Kendall, you need to continue to stay in your zone, which, shocker,
you gotta let the players play their position. If you're diving down that much, you're not confident that the guys underneath are going to make the play. Stay where you're supposed to be and let them do their job.
Yup. Tim, how would you grade the D-line starters from Saturday? I thought they were tremendous. They really did get a ton of pressure throughout the game. But just like last season, it's like whenever the freaking D-line got pressure, the secondary gave up an immediate throw. And it's like if the D-line didn't get pressure, then that's all of a sudden when we decided to play great defense on the back end, and they just get to sit. But overall, I thought our defense was getting all over whoever the quarterbacks were. Matt Corral looked like a scared little child. I mean, he was what? But you asked about the starter, but he was 1 for 9 on the game. But anyway, even to start the game, though, I thought we were getting good pressure. It's just the ball was getting out so fast because we weren't covering who we were supposed to. But anyway, all right, on to the third offensive drive. All right. Curtis had a beautiful whip route on a third down. What a great play design. They had Curtis Hodges, the tight end, and Curtis Samuel kind of stacked on top of each other. Curtis on the outside. They both off the snap ran forward. Curtis faked to the inside, forcing the defender to go over top of Curtis Hodges, and immediately he whips out. He's wide open for a nice gain. Love that play design on third and short, I believe it was. Great play for Curtis Samuel, or great play for Scott Turner, and for Carson Wentz, hit him right on the money, knew exactly where to go with the football. Perfect. But then there was the throw too far inside for Terry McLaurin. You'd love to see Terry try to come down with that, but the safety was screaming, and there was also a defender on the inside coverage. Get the ball a little bit more farther outside the numbers, and let your receivers be the only one to have a chance at the football. But yeah, I mean, it could have been picked off if we were really unlucky. All right, we're going to talk about him now. Brian Robinson. I love Brian Robinson. I love Brian Robinson. I didn't like the pick at first because running backs are a dime a dozen, right? But Brian Robinson is exactly what Antonio Gibson is not, okay? Nearly every time, if there wasn't much there, he put two hands on the football and he just drove forward, always falling forward, took two guys to bring him down, always. He slipped through arm tackles, right? Like, there was never a time where he got tripped up by one guy reaching out and hitting his legs. Nope, he ran right through those. And he did this the whole drive until he got into the end zone. Like, perfect.
He's not looking... He is not looking for the home run hit. He's just going to take what you give him and get every last yard he can get. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and his first carry was a 9-yard carry, which is awesome. But after that, it's like, okay, I get 2 yards here, 3 yards here. But all of those plays, he was initially getting touched at the line of scrimmage or before the line of scrimmage, right? Like, after contact, even though he was only getting 2 yards, it was probably 3 yards after contact. Or if he got 3 yards, they were all after contact. Right? It's not like he got to 3 yards and just got stuffed and fell over. No, he fought for those extra 3 yards. There was one time where the offensive line didn't give him enough room, and both of the defensive tackles had outside protection, so he had nowhere to go. What does he do? Protect the football, hits the crease in between his two offensive line, give them enough push, and he fights for a couple of yards.
Yeah, perfect, he doesn't have
perfect.
He does
perfect.
Not have happy feet. You see running backs that are in the backfield doing this and doing it. It's like, no, get your momentum going, pick your spot quick, and just hit it and get what you can get. Get 2, 3, 5, whatever. Just get what you can get.
Yeah, and it was so refreshing to see it. I think Tim is in shell shock watching someone who knows their job and does it. Yeah, like it literally does give me feelings. Right? And I don't think he's Adrian Peterson, so don't get me wrong. But after we watched Matt Jones or Fat Rob Kelly or, list next running back that were like, okay, they're not real true running backs. Like Alfred Morris, like once the Shanahans left, Alfred Morris tanked, right? With that, anybody can run the Shanahan run game. They spit out 5-yard a carry backs all over the place. Like literally, they could give me the ball and I would get 2 yards a carry. Right? Like, and I can't hardly run, right? Especially not with this ankle. But even Alfred Morris was not tremendous as soon as Jay Gruden got here, right? But then we got Adrian Peterson, and in his first preseason game, we handed him the football, and it's like, oh, that's what a running back looks like. Yeah. Just the slight patience, find the hole, hit it quick, and hit it hard, and protect the football, because at that point in aging in his career, Adrian Peterson was better about protecting the football. But it's like, oh, that's what a real running back looks like. And that's exactly what I see when I see Antonio Gibson, who's a tremendous athlete and has flashes, but then I compare him to a guy like Brian Robinson, and he is just, it's perfect for what we need him to do. And then J.D. McKissick is our third down back, and he had a play where it was a blitz coming, J.D. McKissick slipped out of the backfield, hit the little angle route. Carson Wentz read the blitz, knew exactly where to go with the football, hit J.D. in stride, and J.D. just showed a glimpse of what he can bring again. We already know what he can bring, but he had concussions last year, and he is ready to do it again. I'm excited for Mr. J.D. Mckissick because that guy, it's so good. And it's going to be tough for Antonio Gibson to find the field, and we'll talk about the last third defensive drive, and we'll talk about this competition between Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. But the third drive, we obviously did a great job with a quick 3-and-out. There was the screen pass where Deron Payne and I believe it was Casey Toohill both just were right there immediately to shut down the screen pass. I think it was Sam Darnold had to throw it in the dirt. There was nowhere to go. We stuffed a run play, which was nice. And it's funny because Jamin Davis made a mistake apparently on this play, according to Ron Rivera, right? But Jarris on the live play-by-play called this play out. He was like, yeah, Jamin! And I was like, no, Cole made that tackle. He goes, no. Look what he did in the hole. Jamin off snap, saw that it was run, comes screaming through the middle of the hole, meets the fullback in the middle, and just punishes him for trying to come into that hole. Pushes him backwards, that fullback. Beautiful. But Ron says he made a mistake. But this is what I want to say. Last year when Jamin Davis was making mistakes, it was because he was stuck in mud. He wasn't doing anything, right? Like he wasn't doing his job, and he wasn't getting there in time. My coach used to tell me all this. Yeah, my coach used to tell me this all the time. He goes, if you're going to make a mistake 100%.
Yeah.
Don't pitter-patter. And apparently he got sucked up too much, and he just told Ron, I just wanted to hit somebody. Well, because you came in and blew that up, the running back had to go to the outside and it ended up being a gain for like maybe a half a yard or something. But I'm so happy to see Jamin Davis. He seems like his feet are finally out of the quicksand throughout the time he was in, and he was actually making, like, I don't know if you necessarily making plays. I don't even know if he had a tackle, but he was at least moving his feet and getting to places. Whether they were right or not, that's not for me to know because I didn't know what the play call was. But at least he's moving. Because last year it was just like a couple of side steps one way or the other. Next thing you know, the running back's 7 yards downfield and he's trying to make the tackle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the first three drives on the day. But Brian Robinson, man, the rookie, has now put Antonio Gibson on special teams. How
do you feel about that? He's going to be receiving punts. What's he going to fumbling punts back in his own?
I love the idea of him as a punt returner and kick returner. Unfortunately, right now, apparently we're only doing it punt return. But getting that kind of a dude, a 6'2", 220 pounds, running a 4.39 40-yard dash with great quickness and agility in open space.
Yep.
And running full steam ahead on a kick return. Like, this guy could be, I think he, because in college, he was a punt returner as well. I don't know if he ever did kick returns, but this guy was a human highlight reel. Like, every 7 times he touched the football, it was a touchdown.
Yeah,
it was like
college.
50 yards, 60 yards, 70 yards. And I understand that, but they found Memphis was a spread offense, and they found ways to get him the ball in space and watch him work. We saw it last year with the Buffalo Bills, that 70-yard screen pass he got. I think getting him in the return game could be an absolutely tremendous move. Get him out from running in between the tackles, leave that for Brian Robinson, and get him in space. And I love the idea.
I'm not arguing with you. That makes sense. But I still say the first time he gets in contact, returning the punt, and he fumbles it inside the 20-yard line, then everybody's going to be complaining. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's where he shines. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Tim, do you think Brian Robinson only shined because he wasn't facing the first-string defense? Well, then what does that say about Antonio Gibson? Because Brian Robinson came in on the third drive. So we still had our starters in. I don't know if they had their starters in or not, but Gibson came in the game later and still only ran for 2 yards. on the day compared to the 26 yards that Brian Robinson did. Yes, it's preseason and we got to temper our expectations, but what I saw was things that could translate to real season, right? Like, it's not like he juked the socks off of a practice squad dude, and it's like, oh, okay, great, yeah, good. Do that against somebody else, or, made some great stiff arm play against a practice squad guy. No, he's running against defensive linemen, and he's putting his nose down and doing whatever he needs to do to get as many yards as possible. I think it'll translate big time. But I love your questions there, Frank. Thanks for stopping by and asking these things, because I think you're asking good, pointed questions, or poignant. Is that
That's only because Tim feels like he has the answer.
Yeah, I think you probably asked some other things I had no clue on. I just ignored you. No, I just can't read every comment, but I appreciate it.
Then he'd be like, what's this guy Frank doing here?
Yeah, screw you, Frank. Yeah, get out of here, Frank. Just kidding. It's always better to do something with a purpose than do nothing. Yeah, exactly, for Jamin Davis.
Agreed.
All right. I just can't believe it's awesome that, or I don't know if it's awesome or like what, but Antonio Gibson is on freaking special teams right now.
Hey.
After one preseason game. Like, that tells me
it wasn't
more.
just, it wasn't just because of that. It was also in training camp. It was not like he fumbled once, and it was. I think Ron saw a problem, and I think a lot of us did.
Right. What's up, Roger? Dang, I forgot it's over. No, well, we're still gonna say, like, what do we want to look for here in game number 2? So preseason game number 2 coming up this Saturday at 4 o'clock. We'll find a way to get J-Dubs a way to watch the game so he can take some notes and maybe have some questions or concerns or things that he wants to say next week. Unfortunately,
no, I think the fact Kansas City, they might actually televise it.
What do I think about Steven Parker? That's a great question, and he definitely flashed off the screen with that wearing that number 16, if nothing else. But he seemed great in the slot to cover like maybe some tight ends or running backs. He does need to continue to shine, which is actually one of my notes here for preseason game 2. But because one of the things I said, what do I want to look for? I want to look for Steven Parker to continue to shine, because he had a great first day, but he's not a guy that I'm ready to say, all right, he needs to make this team and be a starter, blah, blah, blah. I need to see a lot more. And he's not even necessarily a guy that we're looking for, unfortunately, too, because we really need a free safety in that secondary and linebacker, and I don't think Steven Parker can do that. But overall, I thought he played well. J-Dot being press man, that is what I want to see. He seemed to be winning whenever he was on the field. But he also plays the Z receiver, which will be off the ball, so press shouldn't be nearly as big of a deal as like Terry, who plays X, where he's going to be on the ball. So in most situations, I think he'll be protected from that, but I didn't see him like get stuffed up or like absolutely destroyed on press yesterday at all. Like, he seemed to be getting off the line of scrimmage just fine. All right, what to look for here in preseason game 2. So we already said Steven Parker to continue to shine.
By the way, before you go on, I only see one preseason game scheduled at 4 o'clock on Saturday. And that is Commanders Chiefs.
Oh, perfect. So, that means you should be able to watch it at the bar.
That's what I'm saying. Well, they might still black it out. No.
I thought you were saying the wrong time. But no, okay, perfect. Good.
I don't see anything else Saturday. There's a couple games at 1. There's only one at 4. So maybe I can watch it live with a beer, because I really like to watch it with a beer. I
want to see the first string play at least a half, maybe 3/4, maybe a half. There's no way they play 3/4, but I don't even think a half. I think you might get them for 1/4 is what I'm expecting. But, of course, Gibby at punt return, that's going to be interesting. And B-Rob versus Gibby. We're going to call him Bobby. That's the pair. Bobby. B-Rob versus Gibby. No, I was kidding. But that's going to be an interesting one. We got to see I want to watch to see if the middle of the defense could stop giving things up, and if some linebacker can somehow jump off the screen, that would be convenient. Some of these younger guys. And then will Jahan get his first catch? That's something I want to see. I want to see Jahan Dotson get his first catch, because watching George Pickens absolutely slice and dice the Seattle defense last week when I wanted him so bad was disheartening with the toe tap. One of the guys I wanted in the draft, he was my favorite player this year in the draft. Like, I literally was considering drafting him in the first round. Like, I thought he could be the number one receiver in this draft. 6'3", runs a 4.4, 210 pounds, could run every route, best hands in the draft, great size, toughness, blocking. He pancaked a corner right off the line of scrimmage. They said hike, he just gave him a two-hand shiver and just watched the corner go flying. It was amazing. I loved it. But anyway, I want to see Jahan get his first catch. But let's see what you guys are saying over here. Jahan beating the side. What do you think he's in parking? Seems like Ron knows Robinson's going to get a lot of carries, but still wants to find ways to get Gibby the ball. Reggie Bush used to do returns. Yeah, I think that could be a fine comparison. Reggie's obviously better.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
But I think that could be a fine comparison. They're going to move Terry around this year, or they said they would, so he won't be off the ball all the time. That's fair. That's fair. Fair. Because in theory, they should be moving them around a lot. And that's what they want to do. They want to move everybody around, but then you're giving it away. But I don't know. Maybe you bring in Cam Sims or, Dax Milne or something if they want to play the X. But who knows? Right now, they say they could play Jahan at all three spots. So slot, X, and Z. So we'll see if they play him at all the way. Do you think Heineke is going to bounce back? Heineke had a really good practice at FedEx Field, and then he didn't have a good day, obviously, the other day with
I think Heineke,
two receivers back to back. But yeah, go ahead.
I think Heineke is what he is, and I root for him. I think has some exciting moments, but he's limited, and you see it in his arm strength. He just he is, and I don't think he's gonna suddenly become something else. That's my opinion.
They also say we don't need helmet linebacker. True. True. But do I think Heineke is going to bounce back? I will say absolutely. Absolutely. And if he doesn't, it's actually going to be kind of an indictment on him because he should shine this week because the backups, it appears, for Kansas City stink. They lost to the Bears last week, and the Bears stink. Okay?
Yeah,
so
but Kansas City doesn't care. This is the thing. Good
no, that's
teams...
my point. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. But my point is he's going against a team with the sucky backups and a team that doesn't care. He better bounce back, right?
Well, okay, if you put it that way, but bounce back, I mean, he's going to play well or he's going to be successful, but did he play well? Because you're playing against a team that doesn't care.
Yeah. Like, is he making the right reads and doing what he's supposed to do?
He
wasn't great
and look,
the other day.
I think, too, that Heineke will be best if, and heaven forbid, it happens to a starting quarterback where he has to come in where a team didn't game plan him. Because I think all the games that teams plan for him, he didn't do that well. Because they were like, this is what he does. We got it figured out. So
I want to see Jack bring the pain. More man-to-man, an array of blitzes. The soft zone is
hallelujah.
Yeah, the zone was just bad.
Can I hear an amen?
Yeah, it's just terrible. But I don't think he's the best backup. Hoyer's not better.
Roger,
no.
Roger, I cannot tell you how many times me and Tim offline have been watching a game and we are on the phone screaming at each other going, where's the blitz?
Oh, it's so frustrating. Wentz for the first quarter, Heineke for the second, and Sam Howell finish off the second half? I could totally see that.
I think that's right.
Because last week they played 15 to 20 snaps. I think Carson Wentz gets probably in the range of 25 snaps. I think they ended up playing 21 snaps. So I think they'll probably go for, depending on how it is, I think it's probably going to be comparable. 3-4 drives around the first quarter, somewhere in there is what he's going to end up playing.
I think that's a better I think that's a better way to count it than snaps, is drives. Is it going to
Yeah.
be 2 drives or 3 drives? Maybe if he's on the first 2 drives, they give him a third one. If he has 2 successful drives, maybe they're like, I've seen enough. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
if
think
he
you
goes
count
2
snaps. I
touchdowns,
think
then
you
it's
count
over. We're not going to see him anymore.
right.
For sure. Scott wants to make Taylor a volume passer. That is not his strong suit. Square peg in a round hole. Yeah, no. Well, there's not much strong about Taylor Heineke other than his will to play football, which is awesome.
He is a gamer. I love him. He's a gamer, but
last thing we need is
he just doesn't have it.
Yeah, for sure. He is a gamer, and it's awesome. All right, let's go ahead and do our Weddle, and we're gonna get out of here. Share my screen. Share my screen. There we go. All right, who are we starting with? Offensive player.
I was actually thinking about Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, not with an X, with a Z. Okay. We got a running back. Not in the NFC. We got a running back in the AFC. Under the age of 27. We're going to go with Josh Jacobs. Oh. Okay. We're not in the AFC West. Josh Jacobs is only 5'10". I didn't know that. All right, a 6-foot running back not in the AFC West. We got to go with the. What about? How old's Damian Harris? 25. All right, we're not in the AFC East. Again, he's only 5'11". They all look the same height. Oh wait, I always should be looking at the number. Oh, it's a lower number. That's interesting. Who's a lower number? It's not in the AFC West. AFC East. Is it like Travis Etienne? All right, we're in the AFC South.
Getting closer.
Higher than 1, obviously. All right, so we have the Colts, the Texans, or the...
What about Derrick Henry? He's too tall.
Derrick Henry's tall. Yeah, he's too tall. Let's see. We got... Who's on... Like, Philip Lindsay? How old's he? It's not the Colts. He's only 5'8"? There's no way he's only 5'8". I call bull malarkey. All right, so we're trying to whittle down these teams.
Whittle down.
So we got the Titans, and we got the Texans. So who the heck are the running backs on? Is Duke Johnson still on the Texans? No, he's on Buffalo now. That hurts. Crap. Now we only have 2 guesses. It's not Derrick Henry for sure. Who's their backup running backs? Foreman? Is Foreman still on that team? Crap. Now I don't want to guess. Look up, see if Deontay Foreman's still on Titans.
What about Royce?
Royce?
Freeman.
Oh, wait. That might be who I'm thinking of. Is he on the Titans?
Texans.
All right. We'll try it. Literally, it is the Texans. And we got everything right except the number. So we literally just didn't get the player. Who's the other
how
one?
close? Apparently the Texans have another 6-foot running back.
Juan Gotti. What up, Juan? Hey, I want to have a big stream featuring you and Jarris the week of the Jags game. Anyone other content creator you can think of adding? Yeah, I mean, we'll love to come on. Obviously, there's Nati. I don't know if you want to try to get big. Nati's a lot of fun to have on. You could get one of the guys from like Ref the District or a couple of the guys if you wanted to. I'm sure you can get a bunch of guys. I don't know. Are you bringing Pedro on? Or are you just asking the chat? Hey, let the chat know if there's any other ones you want to get. Yeah, DMV Sports Zone in general. But, all right, who's the last running back? I don't even know who this is. I can't remember. Houston's running back room is an absolute disaster. I've stayed away from it in fantasy. Like, I want nothing to do with their running backs.
It's not Royce, so I'm actually looking down the roster now.
Sounds good.
Janovich is 6'1". Marlon Mack.
No, he's old. Marlon Mack's old. He's not 26. We're looking up the Texas.
Well,
roster.
according to what this says, he is.
Marlon Mack's 26.
That's what it says. 6 foot, 212 pounds, 26, South Florida.
Well, slap me silly. Is this the same Marlon Mack that played for the Colts? One, two, three, four, five. I guess he's only been in the league 5 years. That guy, I guess, doesn't sound too crazy. I mean, he only came in at 21. All right, well, that's it. Marlon Mack. All right, let's go hard mode. One more player.
Oh, I got to hold on. Think of
Yeah, it's Marlon Mack. Wow, I thought Marlon Mack was older. Golly, he's just had so many injuries and like he's been in the league for 5 years, and it just seems like he's been in the league forever. And I guess like the injuries make me think he's like 32. That's funny. Mike Flanagan. That's who Bod wants to start. I like it. We'll start with, is Mike Flanagan on here? No. Who's Mike Flanagan? Is there a Flanagan? Oh, there's a Demetrius Flanagan Foles. That's who we're starting with. A Demetrius Flanagan Foles. Never heard of this guy in my life. Love him.
Right, so it's NFC.
All right, so yeah, we
Not
are
the
in
West.
the NFC, not the West. It's not on defense either, so it's an offensive line, or it's offensive player. Taller than 6'2", but younger than 25. Should we go offensive lineman? No, it's not an offensive lineman. It's a low number. It's a low number. But so maybe a quarterback? Should we go with
Try Samuels.
who?
Samuels.
Curtis Samuel?
Yeah.
No,
Samuel.
he's too short.
Oh.
Yeah, he's too short. And he's too old. He's like 28. So we could go. No, Justin Jefferson's only 6'1". There's so many different
So
directions.
it's on offense, though.
Yes, it's an offensive player, and it's a low number. So it could be a receiver with a lower number.
Or a running back.
Like or a running back that's a tall running back, though. Or, I mean, it could be an offensive lineman, quarterback. It could be anything right now. Let's go with, like... No, it can't be an offensive lineman. We already established that, because it's got to be a low number.
What about
Who?
Carson Wentz, isn't he?
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is 29. He's too old.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was wrong. Sorry.
What do we got? We could go... No, Terry's not... We could go DK. DK is a good guess. DK is a great guess. We'll go DK Metcalf. Ooh, we got 6'4". We got a receiver. Oh, DK was not a good guess because it was in the NFC West. Darn it. But, okay, so 24-year-old.
But you still nailed 3
receiver.
of them.
Yeah. Under the number 14, who in the world is this guy? A 6'4", 24-year-old. In the NFC? Who the heck are we talking about?
Bodhisattva says Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes? Oh, yeah. Okay. No, AJ Brown's not 6'4". How old is No, he's probably too young. He just got drafted. I'll just throw it in there just to get another guess going. But I knew Drake London was 6'4".
Not the South either.
Not the South. So we got the NFC East or the North.
6'4"
Is he
receiver.
How old's DJ Chark? He's got to be older now. He's got to be at least 25. Because now DJ Chark is on the Lions. Because DJ Chark is tall. But actually, he might not be that tall. It's not DJ Chark, for sure. CeeDee Lamb is not 6'4". Is it Sime Fayoko? How do you spell his name? Nope, not NFC East. Oh, they only have him listed at 6'3"? I thought he was 6'4". He is 24 years old. All right, so not NFC East. So it is in the NFC North. It's not Christian Watson because he's too young. And I think he's actually a legit 6'5". Who in the world is on, like, the Vikings these days? Ooh, Alan Lazard's a good guess. Alan Lazard's a great guess. Alan Lazard. I think he's listed at 6'5", though. Yeah, he's 6'5". Okay, so it's not on the Green Bay Packers. So it's on Minnesota, Bears, or Lions. So Vikings, Bears, Lions. Who the heck is on the rosters anymore? It's not a tight end, guys. It's a receiver. So not Goddard or Irv. Justin Jefferson's not 6'4".
And the number is below 81.
It's below 13 and above 5. So it's one of these odd numbers for receivers. So it's not Green Bay. Who the heck are the other receivers on the Vikings and the... It's not Mooney because he's too short. This is bothering me. I'm just gonna throw some names out there just to get the team. Not him. Darnell Mooney. It's the Bears. It's the Bears.
Yeah.
Do they have receivers on their teams? I thought
Minnesota
they didn't have any
does not have any 6'4" receivers.
Is it N'Keal Harry? That's a great guess, AJ. N'Keal Harry. Great guess. I forgot he was on the Bears. N'Keal Harry. All right, that was fun. Thanks, everybody.
It was.
For hanging out. And we had a great day. Some good chat. Some film. Let me know if you guys liked the film review. All right. You can comment on the bottom of this video as well. Or let me know in the Discord if you liked the idea of me going through the film like this and giving you my thoughts on this show. And
yeah, maybe next game I might actually get to watch, and then I can contribute. Yeah.
I'm just sad it wasn't Flanagan. I did give you Flanagan. It was Demetrius Flanagan Fowles. What do you mean you're just sad it wasn't Flanagan? It was. It just wasn't Matt Flanagan. It's this Flanagan. It's Flanagan. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, it's fun. Any last words there, J-Dubs?
No, I think we covered it. Looking forward to actually maybe being able to watch the only game. If they black it out here against Kansas City, I'm going to drive up to with the commissioner. I totally Roger Goodell. I'm going to drive to his house and get arrested.
That's
not
funny.
really. I'm
Fair
not
enough.
in Florida, so. But hey, thanks for everybody to hang out.
But no, thank you. Make sure you guys hang out in the live stream. We'll have Uncut tomorrow with Jairus and ProTech, of course. So we'll do that show tomorrow at 7. And we're going to have some fun on Saturday doing the play-by-play like usual. I'm feeling better now. Last week I was sick, but I still did the play-by-play. I listened back to it. I thought you could kind of hear that I was sick, but sorry. But I'm feeling better. And hopefully it will be all set for Saturday. You can become a member. You can hit the like button. You can subscribe, share, or not. Until next time, see ya!